the first work we have done outside on the art route in Køge is just when you get out of the museum, you have this pedestrian street or the shopping street in Køge, and there's a lot of very beautiful houses, and then in the middle of all that you have this 70s kind of very low, not so nice building, and we thought it could be interesting to work with that. So we have built an extra, what can you say, we have put a storage, yeah, an extra storage on it or to it, and we have added like a facade that wasn't there before, so now it looks like a person or more like a face, and it's on top of this haircut saloon. So yeah, and you can actually also see it from inside the museum. There's a little window where you look through the window and you look straight at the face looking back at you.
And it has like two windows, and they are in each window has 3 sections, and then we have created a small light time frame where the light shifts from straight to one side to the other side, so it's like the house is looking back and forth on the street, and it's made with shingles. A kind of we've been choosing a material that is a little in the style of the building. It's not terracotta roofs. So it mixes into the street, but it also looks quite different. Yeah. And inside the museum, you can see references to another work we've done, which is similar in Seoul, and also you can find a book where we have photographed a lot of facades from all over the world, which resembles a face. And then when you continue from Nørregade, you get to the harbor, and the first work in the area of the harbor is a tower, and the tower has a back, and that's the first thing you meet is the back, and then it has some side buildings, and it looks a bit like arms, and it has other side buildings in the front. You mainly see it in the front, which looks like legs, but it could also be a public bench. And we call the work a tower man, and it's like a tower who's been walking from the city center and then on its way to the harbor, and then it's sitting a little bit tired and looking at the ocean. And the materials is we have used colors that we found in Køge. When you walk in Nørregade as well, there's the old museum, there's different buildings, there's really nice details from
Wood cuttings, special made doors and stuff like that.
And that has inspired us for the colors and all the details.
And yeah, that's it about him. No, yeah, he has light in his eyes and in the windows, so it looks really nice in the during the evening as well, or in the night. So and if you continue from that tower man, you walk over a small bridge, and then you see this brewery called Braunstein. And we thought that Braunstein sounded very German, kind of. So we and also at the harbor you have this a lot of wood being shipped. So sometimes there's big piles of cut trunks lying on this just next to the harbor, and we started thinking about, okay, why not put up this little our own little wood in front of this brewery, pine wood, so it could look a bit German and also refer to what's going on at the harbor. So and then we made it very artificial and very kind of strict. So
And then we also planted like some of the trees are standing, and then there are leftover trees that have been maybe cut down, and they also work as small seating places. So we're actually creating a small public place in front of the and then it also looks very different from a lot of different angles. It's like the pattern of the different trees and makes or changes from one position to the other. And when you continue from Ramstein, get a little further down the industrial harbor, and you see really large-scale silos.
Yeah.
And it's a company called Munas who has this factory ground, and as part of or in front of the silos, there are some very small concrete buildings which has some little function, but it's not really architecture that someone cared about or did something special about. It's quite rough, and we thought it could be interesting to really create something special out of one of those small buildings. And another theme we've been interested in relation to gardens is the mussel,
The seashell.
the seashell, and creating like big patterns of seashells, and it's almost like a fabric. And so we decided to cover this whole building with seashells, and we added a little window, and and it's very different from the industrial silos, but it also plays. We think it makes it a really nice contrast, but also some similarities.
It's like a forgotten gem or something just between these very rough industrial build, and also with the windows, you get curious about what's in there, who's sitting in behind the curtains. Are we still on?
Yeah.
Got. And also, actually this thing is it goes way back in the garden.
Yeah, and also it's funny how all those grottos were it's kind of whimsical and feminine in a way, but it was mainly made by man, and this has, I think, that kind of the contrast too. But now it's two female artists who did it, and we were also thinking about one of the seashells we used is a blue mussel, and it's actually a kind of a waste material from the industry, and we actually got it from a big factory who's boiling the mussels, and then they have this waste material, and we got it straight from that and cleaned it up, and then used it as a kind of decorative material in the building.
Yeah, and then the last piece on the roof is the barn. Sorry, and there is actually an old barn standing, or looks like a barn that has been used to make the fishermen used it for making the net, and now it's a storage for boats, and we thought it looked like something from a film, a classic American film, it's very old, and it used to, but you can see there's something beside it. Okay. So we have made this look even more like an American barn, and added this. We painted a barn quilt on the front, and then you have this something that could look a bit more like a stable, or a small frontier's home, and there's some holes, and when you go close to it, you can look through a hole like
Hvad vi mere skal have?
drama, or yeah, how can you say it's, you look into a hole and then you see something in the end. We did as well. Some wood cutting a pattern that shows a fork, no, not a fork, it's called rye, some farmer tools.
Yeah.
In the end.
Also, we found that this part of the building had this kind of scary look to it. There was a lot of leftovers. People had been sleeping there and stuff, and we kind of took some of the stuff we found, and staged in the installation. So it's kind of blurring what we did and what someone else did. And we kind of like that play.
Yeah, so we used, actually a lot of it is found on the actual location, and then we added some other stuff that is also used, so everything is kind of looking old. And then there's a light coming out, so you might think that somebody is actually living in there, or some life is going on. Or
some of the guys working at Nunas were a little bit sad that we changed that shed in front of the bigger barn, because there used to be a lot of models and photographers going there and doing some shows, and they kind of enjoyed that. So it was also, some of the works we were more present at the places and working there for a longer time, and just kind of start establishing some relations to different people who has their everyday life in that area. I guess that's it.
Ja. Det er fint. Det var, hvad vi skulle bruge.
Har I andre spørgsmål?
Nej.
Okay, perfekt.
Tusind tak.
Selv tak.
velkommen.
Hej. Hej.
Hej.
En god dag.
I lige måde.